Today we're going to show you how to change the drain pump on your washer. It's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a 1/4" nut driver, 5/16 nut driver, and a pair of slip joint pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Now the first step in this repair will be to turn the washer around so that we can gain access to the back. Now to do that we'll need to disconnect the power, we'll need to disconnect the inlet hoses and the drain, and then turn the machine around so that we have access to this panel. Next we'll remove 4 1/4" hex head screws. There are 2 short ones on the bottom and then 2 longer ones on the top. Now with these screws removed, you can tilt that panel out, drop it down, and disengage it from the plastic housing for it, and we'll set that aside. You can also remove this piece if you wish, as it will tend to get in the way. Just has a couple of hooks on the top that fit into those slotted holes. And we can set that aside. Now to remove the pump, we'll need to first of all disconnect the drain hose, and chances are there's going to be some water in that, so we'll need a container to collect that in and probably some old towels. So with a 5/16 nut driver, we'll remove the clamp that holds the drain hose to the pump. We'll loosen that screw enough that we can move the clamp. There's probably going to be some water comes out, so we've put a rag in place there to catch the excess. So just twist that hose and slide it off. Next, with our pliers, we're going to remove the hose from the tub to the inlet of the pump. That's a squeeze type clamp. And again, we'll probably get some water that will come out of that hose. So slide it off the end. Catch as much of the water as you can. And then we can set that aside. Now the pump is mounted on a plastic bracket that has a couple of round projections on the bottom that fit into the base frame. So we're going to twist that pump counterclockwise and lift it out of the slotted holes in the base, and then we can pull it forward enough. We can remove the plastic shield that covers the pressure switch, just like a little plastic bag, and just remove that plastic bag and set it aside. And we're going to remove this rubber cap that sits over top of the pump housing. Again, it has a spring type clamp. We're just going to press that, lift the clamp off of it, set that aside. And we'll remove the harness from the little clip on the side here. Just slide that out of that opening. Remove the connection to the pump itself. Then we're going to twist that pressure switch 90 degrees to disengage it. And that just fits into the square opening on that pump bracket. So remove the old pump. Now the first thing we will do is to reinstall the pressure switch on the new pump. We'll line that tab on the bottom of the pressure switch up with the square hole in the pump bracket. Push it all the way in. We'll rotate it clockwise, and we want to make sure that we get that rubber nipple up on top of the opening in the pump. There is a little locator tab on the front of that. Make sure that that lines up properly, and then we'll put the clamp back in place. Carefully inspect that rubber cap, make sure that it is in position and that the clamp is on properly. Next, we can tuck that wire harness back into the clip, and as well, we'll reconnect the harness connector to the pump motor. Next, we'll put that plastic bag over the pressure switch to protect it. Fit it on there as snugly as you can. Next, we will locate those two round plastic projections from the bottom of the pump base into the base of the washer. Sure they both sit in flat, and then rotate the pump clockwise until it's in position. And we can install the tub to pump hose. Squeeze that clamp enough so that we can push the hose completely on. Sure there's no twists or kinks in that hose. And next we'll connect the drain hose to the outlet of the pump. And again, we'll make sure that it's seated fully. And then we'll tighten that clamp. Make sure you position the screw on that clamp so that you have access to it should you ever need to remove it again. And once we have the clamp tightened on the drain hose, we can put the rear access panel back on. We'll start by putting the plastic holder in place. We'll slide that right up into that plastic holder. Hold it in place, make sure it fits snugly. Wrap the sides around. We'll start by putting in the top two screws first. Same on the opposite side. And make sure the edges of that plastic holder fit inside of the opening on the main cabinet, and that will allow it to seat flush. Put the two screws in on the bottom. Now we're ready to put the washer back in position. We'll reconnect the fill hoses, taking care that we get the hot hose on the right hand side facing the back, and the left one is the cold. Secure our drain in place, reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.